Hello, how are you? If there's a question I get asked more than any other question, more than how tall are you, how old are you, what's your favourite book, it's how do I get back into reading? I've forgotten how to enjoy reading, I don't like it, I can't do it, I can't concentrate. And I've definitely experienced this. I don't think I've had quite as much anxiety about it as people who ask me this question have, but I've compiled a little list of top tips and I hope it helps if you're feeling that way. Number one is relax. It's completely fine. It's okay unless you have to read for a class or a project or something really important in your life. Nobody is forcing you to read. It's something that's supposed to be done for pleasure. You're supposed to enjoy it, and taking a break from it is fine. Everything in life, every hobby, every person, everything I've ever enjoyed, there have been times where I just don't want to see that thing that particular day. I definitely go periods of 2 or 3 weeks where I don't read. I just watch movies and I listen to albums, and I feel like those things are equally as creative and good for me as a person, and so I do those things instead sometimes. And you never stop reading, if you're lucky enough to have been taught how to read and you know how to do it, you're doing it all the time. Right now I'm reading the little letters around my lens, there's words on my camera, there's a thing over there. We're always just reading advertisements and magazines and stuff on the internet, so you're always reading, and it's okay to not be able to sit down with a 300-page novel from time to time. So don't put pressure on yourself. It's okay. Maybe just enjoy the break. Number two, ask yourself if there's a particular reason why you're unable to read. I think there's a lot of pressure within booktube. If you watch a lot of booktubers videos, then you feel like everybody is constantly reading and they're reading so much, but it's not a sport, it's not a competition, it's an individual practice that's just about you and books and your relationship to them. So you shouldn't feel like you have to read a certain number of books per week or per year to be adequate as a reader. That's just daft, and I hope I don't contribute to that type of pressure. Just remember that people who make videos about books often are maybe even full-time YouTubers. They have a lot of time in their hands, or they get paid to do that, and so please don't worry about what other people are doing, whether it's YouTubers or friends or whoever. If reading something you've previously enjoyed, maybe it's that you've started taking a medication and it's messed up your ability to concentrate and you hadn't really thought about it that way. Maybe you've stopped taking a medication that was helping you concentrate and you can't quite get used to that. So definitely take a look at those kind of things, because those can be really important. Are you stressed? Are you really busy? Has something in your life changed? Does reading remind you of something that you'd rather not be reminded of? Just figure out if there's something going on in your head that's like a mental block between you and reading. Number three, revisit an old favourite. I'm talking about really old favourites. If you need to go back and read books you read as a child, I like to revisit Roald Dahl, not even when I'm in a reading rut, just because I want to. There's nothing wrong with rereading books. Going back to a book you used to love may remind you why you used to love reading or what you loved about that book. That can be a really good place to start. Number four is sort of similar. Switch up the genre. You don't have to read the entire Game of Thrones series. How about just read a short story? That counts. Read a short story, read a trashy romance novel, read a thriller, read something completely different, but when you read the blurb it captivates you and you think, that sounds like a great story, I want to read it. Do it. Check it out from the library. Number five is my personal favourite. I call it the nightcap. Pick a book, go to bed. Your bedroom should be a place where there's no distractions. It should be very peaceful, very quiet. I don't agree with TVs in bedrooms and things like that. Just completely chilled out. Get a book and force yourself to read 10 pages before you go to sleep. 10 pages hopefully doesn't sound like that much. That's because it's not. And this is personally how I get books read. If I didn't read before I went to sleep, I probably would never read during daylight hours. If I'm busy, if I'm struggling to read, I go to bed early, I read at least 10 pages, and then I go to sleep feeling like I've accomplished something in my little life. And finally, take a book with you everywhere you go. I'm not very good at this. I'm good at taking books travelling and on journeys, long bus journeys and things like that, but I mean glue the book to yourself. Make sure you always have one on hand, and you might not read it, this might not work, but even if you're just on a train and you read 2 pages, then that's definitely, it's a start and it's an accomplishment, and you might get to a part in the story where you think, I can't put this down. Those are 6 tips that I have. Those are things that maybe have helped me in the past. Hopefully it'll pass. Books will always find their way back to you, don't worry. If you have any other tips or any better tips, definitely leave those in the comments. I'd love to read those. I'm sure other people would. And I hope this goes some way in answering my most frequently asked question. Okay, have a lovely day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Also, I made these cool notebooks that if you need to scribble some notes about the books you're reading, or if you just need to scribble some things, then I made this. It says be something, do something, love something, and they're on my Big Cartel page. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.